Donne Colioni Show. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I'm available on Instagram, Twitter, Rumble, as well as TikTok. I think I named everything. Yeah, but without further ado, I don't want to waste no more time. I am here with.
I'm seriously Taylor.
All right, let's get it. So tell people, for people who don't know who you are, like just tell them who you are, all
Uh,
that stuff.
I'm just audio engineer, producer from Edmonton, Alberta.
Hmm.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, it's not. It's that's as far as it goes.
Usually everybody's like, yeah, ma, da 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 da. They got
Nah, I feel like it's better to be like a specialist, be really good at like two, three things than be like one of those people that's like, yo, I'm good at everything. And then
jack of all trades
yeah, and then it's like, okay, well, you're not really good at everything, you're just mediocre at like
at
everything.
everything.
It's like, bro,
Yeah,
like you don't need that, like
you
look
might
at
as well. Yeah.
the Bulls, like everyone played their
Hmm.
role. Like, you gotta have like role players. Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think that's what I'm good at. Those are my two
Just
two
like a
things.
role player type thing.
Yeah, that's my role.
Okay.
I'm not the star of the show. I'm just behind it all. Hey, what's going on?
But yeah, so basically, yeah, I like what you said. You said there about like the role playing and stuff. Because I noticed with like your team and stuff, you guys kind of each play a role. Like you got Carice, he's like, because you guys are like a
Yeah,
pretty big team.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So he's like the rapper, and then you're like you make like the music, it's like the beats and the
yeah.
engineering and stuff. And then you got Antonio, he's like the manager. So it's an interesting dynamic to
Well,
see.
yeah. It's like I just think that it's so much harder to do things by yourself. Like we're like as a species, we're like
Yeah.
good in groups. Like you always do better in
Mm-hmm.
groups. Like I feel like that's just the truth of it. You always do better when like strength in numbers. Like
Mm-hmm.
the more the merrier. Like and especially having like a strong group that like everyone's on the same pace. Like everyone knows what they need from each other. You're gonna get good results. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
you have to like that's how you're gonna be successful. It's really rare for someone to be successful and be like, yeah, I did it 100% by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then even if they did, like to maintain that type of success, they're gonna have to have a team.
Yeah.
Like there's no way you can just do it solo.
Yeah. And everybody gotta have to like play their role and kind of like I feel like um it takes like a certain level of like humility to like to do that too. Like, because everybody, like for instance, like if we're talking about it in like basketball terms, it's like everybody, not everybody can be a point guard, not everyone can be a one, but you can be like number two. You can be like
Exactly.
a really good four.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and it's just understanding that like you like I get wanting to be the star, but I care way more about winning than being the star.
Being the
Like
star,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
care to be like, you have to sacrifice that like a lot of stuff to be a winner. I don't care to be like, oh, I did it all. I'm the best. Like that doesn't okay. Like that's why people care more about a championship than an MVP.
Hmm.
Like you always want a championship. That's why you play the whole season.
Yeah, because he just knew his role and stuff like that. Yeah, that's facts though. Like I remember there was a quote by what's his name, Fat Joe. Fat Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said something about that. He's like, I made. He's like, I can't remember exactly, but he said like, I made $1 million being a number two, like instead of being a number one. Like I can't remember who he was talking about, but he was talking about like how he was like second in command and he made a lot of money just being second in command.
Yeah.
Like he won.
And sometimes you got to realize that like you're not meant for that role.
Yeah.
Like everyone wants to be the star at one point, but that's not how the cards always play out.
Hmm.
You're not gonna drop 50 every night. Sometimes look at LeBron and Kyrie. Any good duo, like sometimes someone has to take over. It's a
Exactly.
lot of pressure on one person. If you're doing okay, I can do it all by myself. It's like okay, yeah, try. You're not gonna get far. Like you know,
Yeah, it's like a team thing.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, it's just life. That's how life is.
Mhm. But I want to get back to so what made you want to get into like first of all, actually no, I want to ask first of all like since you do so producing engineering, what's the difference? Because I don't know what the difference
Like
is.
so like engineering is more like really technical. Like you have to like depending on how good you are, it's fair. Like the levels of it. It's like you can get into like very scientific. Like I could get like more scientific into like exact frequencies and why things work a certain way. But like as a producer, it's more like it's you're working more on just like production. I know that sounds stupid, but like how your drum sound and sound design and
For
like in a
producing.
simple way. Yeah, for producing, you're doing more like okay, what is the key of the song and how does the artist gonna sound with that key and yada. It's more like it's like complex in their own ways. Like it's that was the worst explanation ever, but yeah, you're just trying to like both are just trying to accommodate to the artist, but in different ways. Like
For producing, you're creating the beat.
yeah, you're working from ground zero.
Okay.
Like you're like okay, um, I'm gonna start with this sound, and you know you have to like you just have to like go full from zero and try and develop a sound that would accommodate someone. But yeah, engineering is more like okay, how can I make this song better now, like sound better? Because it's like you know how like everyone hears their voice and they're like, "Oh, I hate the way I sound," you know?
Yeah.
That's like my whole job
So
is
you
to
do like the auto tune stuff.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then,
yeah. Like that yeah, that's the best way to explain it. Is just like I make people be more comfortable with like how they sound.
how they sound. Okay.
Because like yeah, no one hears themselves and is like, "Oh, I love the way I sound." No one like, you know, unless you're like blessed, but no. I feel like most people are like hate the way they sound and that's where I get paid.
If they sound good.
Yeah.
I really because I remember it's funny because like I can't remember I was in a studio once. I can't remember who it was, but like they're making music and stuff, and it's just like just hearing the raw voice. You're just like it's kind of funny because like at first I was like I just hear some guy in the back like wait whoa yeah, and then he plays it, and then it sounds like actually proper. And
Yeah.
it's like
I
it's kind of
and
interesting.
and people like they don't know the half of it, you know, like engineers like really pull the weight in like the industry like cuz I feel like you know if you take away engineers like
Mm.
that's a hard job to replace like there's tons of people that talk about like if there's not
Producers can't do that.
it just depends on your skill set, you know, like I think that like a good engineer makes like a whole difference, you know. Like a good producer is a good producer and they can make a good song, but like a good engineer is like the last. That's the finishing touches. They're gonna make it like they're gonna like a really good engineer. Like it's subtle though. Like you'll watch them and it's like okay, like if you're not really like your ears aren't trained to hear it, you'll be like I don't even hear the difference. Like you know like what from the start of like when they did it into the end, you'd be like oh I don't know the difference, but like there's an exponential reason like why they get paid that much because like that small detail and that oh I took half a dB out at 500 hertz of the whole song or this or that or this instrument and I panned it a little more this way or I made it easier for the ear and it sits in the pocket more like those little details can make it from like and I love to think about it like this is because like any song could be a hit, you know, like look at Old Town Road. That song literally like it went from like some random kid that no one knew about to like the biggest song of the decade
Mhm.
within like half a year. You know, it's like you never know a song is going to be like a mega super hit.
Yeah.
So it's like you just have to put your all into every song and be like, okay, you know, maybe this isn't my favorite song, but I have to make it as good as it can be. You know, like I think as an engineer, I'm probably like one of the best in the world.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, and because I always say like, there's not one person I can't make sound good. Like, you know,
Mm.
like especially for my age and shit. Like, yeah, definitely. Like, ahead of bounds and leaps ahead of like most people. I know that's a hot fucking take, but you know,
This guy's like, I'm the best in this shit.
it's a hot
But
take.
you gotta
But
have that confidence, though. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have that belief in yourself. Like,
well, yeah, it's like and you kind of know when you've put in enough like hours and time. And I'm not gonna say enough because there's never enough. You know, like you're always working to be better, but like damn near put way more than 10,000 hours in this shit than, and I'm only 21. You know, like I've put
yeah.
way more time than fucking 10,000 hours. Like a lot of long nights, like being upset with myself, like why doesn't this sound good? And you're sitting there and you keep tweaking things and you're trying new things because it's just as an engineer, it's just trial and error, you know. And like I was way more like obsessed with engineering because it was almost like a puzzle. You're like, okay, how can I make this sound good? How can I, you know, if I adjust this and do this, like how is it gonna make it? How is everything gonna correlate? Because if you think about it, like as an engineer, there's certain songs like Happy, like by Pharrell Williams, like the Despicable Me song or whatever. There's a mixed breakdown and like there's like I don't know like 100 different vocals
Mm.
in that and like plus the drums plus this plus that and it's like think about that like you have to take hundreds of sounds and make them sound like unison like one
Mm.
like be able to digest for like someone to listen to and be like, this isn't a jumbled mess, you know? Like
Mm,
that's why the job gets hard because it's like you're trying to make everything sound good together, and
okay.
not a lot of people have that skill set.
So would you say you're more like you do more engineering
Oh,
than
producing?
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, I have way more fun doing it. Like, you know, if you're having fun with it, you're gonna like it. You're just gonna be more driven to do it. So yeah, I do it way more like just off the pure like I have fun doing it.
So when you're doing engineering, is it like you're engineering like beats that you created or like beats other people created?
Oh, like mostly other people's stuff now at this point, but it's like not even just beats. It's mostly vocals, like because people don't really care about beats. Like if that shit smacks and it sounds good, like people don't care. It's like okay, well, like if the voice doesn't sound professional, like it did come out of a studio, like people instantly skip. They don't give a shit. Like, you know,
Mm,
I'm getting vocals that people have recorded off straight off like Apple headphones, and they're expecting me to turn this shit into like gold. And like by the end of it, you would not be able to tell that shit was recorded on Apple headphones. You'd be like,
mm.
oh yeah, it sounds good. You know, you would not be able to tell the difference. You'd just be like, yeah, it sounds like it was recorded professionally. You know?
I find that yeah, because I noticed like with some like when I listen to some music, like you could tell like when the voices just doesn't I don't know how
Yeah,
to
it's
explain it, but it doesn't match.
yeah. There's like instantly you can tell that like a very untrained ear can still be like there's certain things that untrained ear can just tell like instantly like one of them is like when something's out of key, you know, like when
Mm,
auto tune is out of key or something, you're gonna be like instantly an untrained ear can be like that doesn't sound right, or like when something distorts. A normal person can hear that and be like, why does it sound like that? Or like just when something just sounds not professional, like
yeah,
you can just be like, okay, that just sounds like it was recorded through an iPhone, you know?
yeah.
Like some people don't care about having that quality, but that's where you take a leap in your sound.
Mm, that's facts. Yeah, because like there's times where it was like I had some people like some friends of mine and stuff. They'll like send me like were like there's more like high school days, a little bit out of high school. They say, yeah, I want to try to be a rapper, and then they do it all themselves. And then like
Hmm.
they do it off like Garage Band or some
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
And you hear it and you're like,
yeah. You're like, this is
you
not it. And that, you know, some people are just not made to be rappers. You know, like it's a competitive industry. Like everyone thinks that they're just gonna be like, oh, I'll just be like a little baby. It's like, bro, what the fuck are you talking? Like that's
you
not.
had the courage to say what I could. You had the courage to say what I couldn't say.
Yeah,
Like
like
sometimes,
what?
like
It's just like I'd rather keep it real and just like tell someone like straight up and not waste their time. You know,
yeah,
like and not to say that like they can't do it. You know, like
yeah,
I'm not gonna be a straight hater, but I'm gonna keep it real. Like you know,
yeah,
like there's people that'll send me stuff and I'm like, okay, like it definitely could get better, but like I'm not like I wasn't good at one point. You know, like I had to grow. Like so I'm not. And there was definitely people that like I cared about their opinion and they shit on me and I was like, damn, that made me feel bad. And I know
yeah.
like at this point in my career, people do care about my opinion.
Mm,
So like I can't just be sitting there like, nah, fuck all these guys, they suck ass. Like, you know?
yeah.
Because you never know who could be the next superstar, you know? Like
Mm,
you the one person you shit on could be like fast forward and they won a Grammy or something, you know? Like
mm,
that's why it's like you just stay on everyone's good terms because you never know what can happen. Like it's always better to be positive too. Like
mm.
not be a straight hater. Like you don't get
Yeah,
anything from doing that.
yeah. There's nothing that comes out of doing that.
Like unless it's some sort of animosity, yeah. Like
Yeah,
why be a hater?
like why? Yeah, that's the thing. Like when people come to me and they have music or whatever, and they say, "Yeah, it's my music." Like I'll be on it. Like I won't say like chat. I'll just gotta be like, I'll be like sometimes it's like sometimes there's situations where they'll come to me and they'll be like like the lyrics don't sound bad.
Uh
It's just that like you said, like it's just that the voice, like they need like an engineer,
yeah.
and I'm just like, and I tell them straight up, like yeah, like the lyrics don't sound bad, but I think you just need to tweak how you like.
One of the biggest like bro, my favorite one is like tons. I've heard like artists get this right in front of me where they'll be like, oh yeah, the beat sounds good. It's like, bro, that is not what they're asking you. They're asking you if the song sounds good, you know? Like, and then you're like, oh yeah, the beat sounds good. And like every artist hates to hear that because it's like they didn't make the beat, you know, they made the song.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
want your opinion on the song. And that's the easiest way to like get out of like, okay, like I don't actually want to answer this question. So I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, you know, it's the beat's cool. And no one really actually is like that just means they don't fuck with your music. I'm gonna be real. If someone's giving that question, if someone answers the question like, Yeah, the beat's fire though. They don't fuck with your music. I'll be so real.
Don't quit your day job now.
Yeah, nah, for real.
Yeah.
Nah, you gotta give it some time. You know, practice. Practice makes perfect.
For real, for real. What's it called? Yeah, I was gonna ask you too. How did you come up with the name Seriously Taylor? Was it just like one day you just pissed someone off, like Seriously Taylor? Like is that how it happened? Or is it just like
I I definitely think it was probably something to do with that. Like,
someone actually was like Seriously Taylor? Like,
well, yeah, but then it was like I was hearing a lot of tags at the time
okay.
that were like, okay, like, you know, it was a lot of like, I love you this, I love you that, and like, you know, because there's like, I feel like the tags come in waves, you know, like you'll get like certain people that have like very like specific tags, like you'll get Metro, like where he has like Metro and like
Yeah.
Take Keith, you know, like everyone has like the real good producers have like those standout ones. But I don't know, there was like I Love You Benji, and then like I Love You Cavi, and these were like producers that I like fucked with when I was like younger, like I was like 19, 20. I was like, oh, these guys are sick. And I was like, you know, I like the concept, but like that's not me, you know, like it's not like an I love you. It's like more like I feel like I'm like like, you know, I feel like that represents me better. Is like a seriously. I never heard that. Like I've never, still to this day, I've never heard someone go like seriously. So I was like, this is me. Like I feel like that's more like of a seriously Taylor. Like that's the type of attitude I've got in my whole life. So I was like, I feel like this fits me way more than some I love you shit. Like that's not me.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like everyone's on my ass. So I was like, I'm gonna do this seriously. I'm not gonna do the I love you. Like
Yeah.
that's not my thing. That was all it was. It wasn't like a very specific moment that like clicked. I just was like, okay, this is different. I feel like it represents me, and it stuck. Like it really stuck. I did like I'll have people come up to me and they're like, seriously, Taylor, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you like, and it gets weird because it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. Like you know, like yeah, I get it.
Do people ever joke about it? Like a lot of like Seriously Taylor? It's like just like
Yeah, I've never like it's not like a laughing at me kind of thing. I'm just like,
but
you
just
know,
like a little like
I feel like people use it more as like an icebreaker.
Yeah,
Because it's like, oh, yeah, seriously, Taylor? And I'm like, yeah, haha. You know, it's like you
Does it
hear
get
it.
old?
Oh, 100% gets old. You're like, yeah, bro, I got you. Like, I've heard it like enough times, you know, like it's my whole handle, you know? Like, I'm sure people see Metro and they're like, Metro, and it's like, okay, bro, like, cut it out, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be a dickhead, but I'm just like, you got it, bro. You know, like, it definitely, it gets a little old, but what can you do? It's gonna keep happening. It's gonna get way worse. You know, like I'm gonna get it way more than this. Like okay,
yeah. You just it's not even like them like dissing. It's just like
no, it's definitely not this. It's just
it's like trying to be funny, like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a you know when you're just like joking around with people, just like for fun.
Yeah, like I never take it like serious. I'm not like I'm not glazing. Like I'm like oh like fuck that. You know, I'm not pressed. I'm just like whatever. You know, it's just like okay, yeah.
It just kind of gets annoying, like hearing it. It's like for example, like I know what you mean. Like it's something where it's like
you hear it enough, you're just like okay,
yeah.
You know, it just gets It's just like but it's like when you're good at something or whatever, you're gonna get some hate. Not even hate, but just like people are gonna mock you, whatever, yada yada yada. Like think about anyone that's great, they're gonna get some type of backlash, something.
Yeah.
So I take it how you want, I guess. Like I don't really care, you know.
100%. Another question I was gonna ask you too is what? Oh man, just burped on camera. What got you into engineering and like just music in general? Like what?
I had like big homies that were like doing it, like but like they were just like full like oh this is cool, you know, just like that phase like what you're saying where you had homies that were like sending music or whatever. Like I had older dogs, and obviously I looked up to them. I was like, oh this shit's cool, you know, like even though they were not good at that shit, like but I was still interested, you know. You're just seeing it happen. You're like oh this is cool, you know, like like what is happening for and I've always been the person that like wants to know why things work a certain way. Like I want to know the like the ins and outs of things, like more or less. It's not like I'm not someone that just likes to be surface level. I'm like, if I want to know something, I want to know everything about it. So I was like, I was interested in all of it. I was like, okay, like I had good rhythm. Like I wasn't one of those white kids that couldn't clap on rhythm, you know. Like I was like, okay, like I've listened to like I grew up on like hip hop and R&B and shit. So like I had a good idea of it already. Like, so I kind of like just slowly edged my way into beats, and then like I just like making things sound good. And then it just came with like vocals, you know, like it's like, okay, everyone needs an engineer. Like you're saying, like there's guys that were sending you music and like, okay, well, an engineer would definitely make this sound better, you know?
Yeah.
So that's where I just like, I was like, okay, I'll fill the role because like I don't think it's like, it interests me, like it intrigues me. So fuck it, you know?
Mhm.
That was all it was. It was nothing like, I'm not one of those kids that was like, oh yeah, I grew up playing 8 instruments and I have no musical background. None. I didn't grow up playing an instrument.
Oh shit.
I wasn't good at like music and like you know, in elementary when you had to play the
The
recorder
ticka
and
ticka tea
yeah, all
time.
that shit. I sucked ass at it. Like I was like, I remember telling my teacher in like grade, like I don't even know, it might have been like grade 2. I was like, I ain't gonna do anything with music anyway, so I don't care. And I was like this little jit. And then I'm like, fast forward now, I'm like, brother, my whole life is just like I wake up and it's just like first thing I do is music, last thing I'm doing is music. And I'm like, damn, I was a dumbass. I should have just listened and just did the music. It would have helped me so much more. But now I was like, I don't even care. You know, I wanted to be like funny or something. But yeah, now I'm here. And
Yeah, I feel like back in the day too, like doing like music class and shit. Like it was one of those things where it's like you just me too. I used to like just joke around with your friends.
yeah, you're like, bro, like, when
When's
is
the teacher
recess gonna
off?
hit? You know, like, I did not really care to be there. I was like, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, you're in elementary. It's like, okay, so when's gym class? You know, like, you're not
Yeah.
actually sitting like it's like when's gym class and when's lunch. You're not sitting there like, oh yeah, I love like. There's definitely a couple kids, but like I wasn't one of those kids. Like, plus I like grew up like dyslexic, so I wasn't really interested in like school. Like I would like struggle with school,
Mm.
and like and music was like complex to me at the time. And then like I like got help with my dyslexia and stuff, and I like kind of clicked more with me. I was like, okay, this actually intrigues me. Like I went to like a school that helped my dyslexia, and then like I had like teachers that like helped me, and then like it just all clicked at once, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is cool. Like I remember I was in choir in like late elementary, but like most of elementary, like when I was young, fucking hated it. I was like, oh no, this is a waste of my time. I don't care about none of this. Like lunch, gym, let me go home. I'm good, you know. Like every kid thinks that way. Like 95% of them.
Yeah, 100%. What age were you when you like made the shift where you're like, okay, like I like music?
I always listen to music growing up, and like I said, I had older homies, so like they'd always put me on to shit way before like it was like actually popping. Like, especially I have one specific homie. His name's Elias, but he goes by Amore. He also makes music. He's still doing it, but he would always show me underground shit right before it would like take off. Like I remember he showed me Take A before like Take A blew up. He
Yeah.
showed me Blueface. He showed me Ice Spice. He showed me like there was like the list goes on, and he was like he showed me Fetty Wap. He showed me Tory. He showed me Nav before they had their like big like okay, this is where it's gonna like I was listening to Nav when like he just dropped Up like you know what I'm saying. I was like oh, and I was young like I was young. I was like damn, this is like fire. So into it. So I like always grew up on music, and he would like take me to shows and shit. Like he took me to Drake. He took me to the Drake show. He took me to the Roy Wood show. He took me to I'm pretty sure we went to Nav. So he like always put me on to music and like put me on to like, oh yeah, like this is fire. What do you think of this? And I'll just be like, give it my honest opinion. But I always loved I loved listening to music, but like all my life. Like I grew up on like Biggie, like I grew up on like classic R&B and shit, but I didn't really like understand music at all. I just like liked it. Like it just made everything better. Like when you wake up and there's music in the house, you're like, damn, okay, it's gonna be a good day. That's how I just woke up. My mom loved like Pac. Like I grew up with like fucking Pac posters on the wall. Like and I was
like Tupac and stuff.
Yeah, I had no like I was like that was like all I saw on the walls. Like was with posters of artists like Tyrese and Tupac and like shit like that. I had no idea like who they were, anything like that. But I just grew up around it. So then like it slowly clicks and like, damn, like I knew who these guys were when I was little. And yeah, it just kind of always translated through my life.
Interesting. Okay. So you just kind of just being around it like your whole life, it's eventually gonna like rub off, and you're gonna wanna.
Yeah, it like got to a point where I was like, you see people that you're close to doing it, and you're like, okay, like fuck, I gotta give it a try. And I was like, okay, I'm not bad at this, so, fuck it, let's do it. And then it was like, okay, I'm actually really not bad at this. There's like a chance I can make this like something way bigger. And then now I'm here. I'm like, okay, fuck it, like I'm really in this shit. I can't. There's no like I can't turn back now. It's like I've accomplished enough that like I gotta keep going. You know,
You can't just stop now. Yeah.
nah.
With that being said, what is like your process of like creating like music? Like how do you get an idea to like I guess on the producing side, like how do you like come up with like a beat? Like do you just like hear something and like get inspired by other music to create? Like how does the
I
creative process go?
honestly, I hate working on music by myself. So like, Carice always helped me because he would give me like ideas to bounce off.
Okay.
He'd be like, this is the melody I have, this is the flow I have, this is the idea I have, this is the song that it can maybe sound like, and I'm like, okay, bet, let's try this way. And then it would always start with like Carice's idea before mine, because I feel like the artist drives the song. You know, like no one, you shouldn't be listening to a song solely for the beat. You should be listening to it for like you know, like probably your favorite songs probably weren't just because of like one specific thing. You know, it's probably like a lot of aspects of the song of why you love it.
Mhm.
So I don't know. It was just trying to make the best out of like how I can help the artist get their vision perfect.
Oh, okay.
And then like slowly with time, you just get better at like, okay, I know exactly where to go. Like, and you know, there's keywords, you know, where they'll just be like, okay, I want this, and maybe I hear this, and I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, so that means this, and it's like, okay, this is what you want it to sound like, and then it's like, okay, I can get that done now.
Okay, so you're more on the side of like bringing the artist's vision to life, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I do things like really quickly, so I just rather like I don't have to sit there with the artist for like hours. It's like, bro, just tell me what you need in person and let me see the vibe you're in. Because like, bro, it's such like music and like in my role is like a psychology thing, bro. Like the artist could come in and like he could tell you he wants to do this thing, but like maybe the vibe he's giving off is a certain way, and it's like, okay, maybe he wants a little like this in there, you know? And then it's like you play it by ear. You just because I don't believe in just sending shit over. You know, like it's cool. Maybe it fits that artist and maybe it could work. But it's I'm someone that's like, okay, get them in the room and let's see how they feel. Because I guarantee I'll get something going if I can see how they're feeling that day. You know, because shit happens every day. So, you know, they can have a good day, they can have a bad day, they can be upset, they can be mad. There's like tons of variables. So, you know, because it's not like how likely is it like you gonna send a beat and then hopefully it's gonna do something. You don't know that for sure. So I don't know. I feel like it's always a better chance. Like I'm gonna create something really beautiful if someone's in the room, you know.
Mhm.
So that's all it is. There's not a specific process to it. I never like look at it like, oh, I'm gonna start with this
Yeah.
because I don't believe like if you make music like a specific routine, it's gonna get like boring, you know. Like if you're like,
Oh,
okay, if I just start doing it by doing this and this exact sound and this and that, it's like, bro, it's gonna become the same repetitive. I'm just making the same song, you know.
right. So I guess it's something that's like there's no rules. It's just kind of like just find out, like see what happens, and kind of.
Yeah, you there's no rules at all, and you have no idea what'll do good, what'll catch you. You have to do what you believe in. Like it's just you going by your own taste. You know, like you've no idea. Your worst beat could be the biggest song for an artist. You have no idea because it's really what the artist can do on it. Like Goosebumps by Travis Scott, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
That beat is by this girl named Wonder Girl, and then I think it's like something Wonder, something else. Anyways, not Boy Wonder, but like something else. Anyways, she gave that beat to like 9 other artists.
Really?
Yeah, she gave it to 9 other artists, and then they all were like, "Nah, I'm not feeling it." But then when Travis got it, like that song is one of his biggest songs on his catalog. You know, like everyone knows Goosebumps, so it's just crazy to think like it took 9 artists turning it down to finally become like a super hit. You know, so
Shit.
you never know. But she believed in herself enough to keep trying. You know,
You just about keep trying.
it's the consistency.
Consistent.
You never know. You know, like I said, you literally never know. Like I'm sure fucking Lil Nas X woke up and did not think, oh yeah, like by the end of the year, this is gonna be this biggest song of the decade. And there's like, bro, you think about 2010 to 2020, like, yay, Drake, like how many people dominated in that time? And then
Yeah.
this guy that dropped one song that blew up just took it over. That's crazy, Like,
Yo, Lil Nas give me some weird vibes after the 6 thing, bro.
oh
I was
no, for
like,
sure, for sure. It's not like a no, it's for sure. It's not like a I'm not like supporting like do your own thing, but like
yeah,
that whole like theory of like he just made something out of nothing like so quickly. It's like it just shows like you never know when shit's gonna happen. You never know when it's gonna click, and it's like, okay, it's gonna work now. You know,
100%.
you can't tell the future. You know,
Yeah, 100%.
like
You never know. Like, I guess it's just about like trial and error.
that's what I mean. Like you gotta just keep trying. Like think about like I love Lil Baby's story too. Like he dropped like fucking 8 projects in 2 years, bro. Like, and then it took like near the seventh or like sixth or whatever, like shit started to like catch. You know, he dropped My Dogs. You know, that's my dog. That shit started to catch. And then like his label, his team was pushing him, like P was pushing him, and then that shit just started to like go full circle. You know, they believed in him. He believed in himself. He obviously had the skill sets. He had the voice. He had the talent. Just took the time to drop 8 fucking projects. And if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. You know, you don't. He could have dropped one, and that could have been it. You know, you just gotta keep going hard. Like
one of those things that just doesn't happen like overnight. It's like
well, exactly. And it's like I would rather it be gradual. You know, like I would rather it be okay. It took me a couple of years, and then you feel like you deserved it. You know,
yeah.
like I like to wake up and be like, okay, yeah, I'm blessed because I worked to this point. Then be like, okay, I woke up and now I have a couple million in my bank account, and I have no idea why I'm here. You know, like I would then be like, okay, I way rather wake up and be like, okay, I have a schedule. I know what I'm doing every day. I deserve this. You know, be like you know, deserve it.
You worked for it.
Yeah, it's way better to earn something.
You earn it, yeah.
Than just be given something. You know, you don't have value for something when you just get given it.
Yeah.
You know,
it's kind of just like here you go.
Yeah, it's like, okay, it's yours now. And it's like, oh, okay, well, sure, I guess.
Yeah. Even by that logic, I feel like to just get something like that, it's like you like the process. Because when you are in the process of like gaining something or learning something, like you learn characteristics and things to like
it builds your character, bro. Like you like once you work hard at something and you're consistently trying to work at something, you build this like resilience of like, okay, like, you know, you've gone through enough like of a process to understand that there's so many variables that can happen. You know, like I've been turned down for shit that like opportunities, things happen, like, and it feels bad, but it's like how you have to learn. You know, like the whole process is a learning experience. You know, you never know like your worst like loss could be your biggest lesson. You know, like it's true. Like Tory Lanez literally talked about like, you know, like when you feel like everything's not gonna work, that's probably when things are gonna work out for you. And I definitely agree. Like, you know, when you feel like you're at your breaking point, like, you know, like it's probably like there's some quote where it's like it's basically like you're gonna be really uncomfortable right before you grow. You know, like I don't know. There's a bunch of bullshit with it, but you know what I'm saying. Like
yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, like
you get to that point before you.
Yeah. Like you know, it's like the darkest point is dawn or whatever the fuck it's called. You know, like I don't know. I just sound like a philosopher at this point, but you know what I'm saying. Like it's gonna get bad before it gets good. You know.
Yeah.
100%. One of those ones.
I want to switch gears a little bit. Now this is kind of because it's kind of trending. So you know what? Let me talk about it. Do you think Tory Lanez really shot Megan Thee Stallion?
To be real with you, do I care? Nah, because I fuck with Tory Lanez. I fuck with Tory for real. I don't really, you know, like.
Not gonna lie to you, I still listen to it. Today I heard about it, I still listen to the song.
Well, and it's like, bro, I hate to say it, but it's like, I'm not gonna look at someone different for like an experience in their real life because what they're creating is an art form, you know, like. Once again, I sound like a fucking philosopher, but like, you know, like even R. Kelly and shit, like what he did was really fucked up. But I'm not gonna I'm not sitting there thinking about what he did when I'm listening to his music. I'm trying to enjoy the music, you know. I'm not sitting there thinking about, oh, did Tory actually shoot this bitch in her foot? Like, no, I don't. You know, like like, bro, I just want to hear him go crazy. You know, doesn't matter. Like, but
it's separating the artist from the
because like, bro, everyone has some fucked up history. Like, think about how much, like, bro, I'm gonna be so real. Look at Michael Jackson is the best artist ever.
Yeah.
Like, undeniably, he has to be in your top 5. And it's like, bro, there's a lot of proof behind some of that stuff that was a little questionable, you know? Like, okay, it's a little weird, but like, is it still Michael Jackson? Is he still GOAT? Yeah, of course, you know?
Oh, 100%.
Like, one of my biggest idols. That's not going to change because, you know, like, that's his personal life. You have to separate those things. It is what it is.
It's like in a way, it's like kind of like you like looking at a painting, like, I like this painting, even though the guy who painted it, it's kind of messed up.
Yeah, well,
but then it's a nice painting though.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is like you have to just take it surface level. You don't, But like the way social media is and how life is, everyone wants to go really deep, you know.
Yeah.
And to be real, everyone's bored, you know. Like that's like no one has shit going on, and like especially on people that are posting on like Instagram, posting on social media. It's like, bro, you're bored, bro. Like, go do something because they just
Yeah.
want to be. They're so involved with these people that don't give a fuck about them. Like, no one gives a fuck that Kanye divorced Kim and y'all. Like, no one cares, bro. Like, go get some money.
Yeah,
like,
real shit.
you know, like why am I going to sit here and be so concerned about something that like these people don't know who I am? Like, why does it matter? You know?
Yeah.
And that's like, but social media has to be problematic enough to like give people a reason to watch. Like you, and some people can't take that at face value to understand that, and that's okay. That's the whole point. It's like you're selling to an audience that like can't see the bigger perspective that it's like it's a whole market through social media. You know, some people don't get that.
Social media is just like these days I be trying to like lessen my social media time. It's just like because even myself, I'm just like, man, why do I give a shit about any of this stuff?
Well, it doesn't matter, bro. Like I always thought about that. Like my whole life is just like these people do not know who I am, do not give a fuck about me, and it's like I'm not the type of person to do some outrageous shit to like get someone's attention. Like I'm just gonna do me. That's just weird, you know. Like I'm not gonna be posted out here like academics, like pinning down everything that's ever happened to someone, and like posting it on his like his shit. Like, yeah, bro, it's not that serious, you know. Like you made a whole career about gossiping. Like that's fucking crazy, bro. Like that's fucking crazy. Like you're like Wendy Williams in this bitch, and you're like that's fucking insane to me. Like
at that point it gets a little bit like, okay, man, like what's it for? You know?
Yeah, it's like, and that's the thing is like your whole career is based off degrading people, like, and making people look bad. Like I guess you have a platform and you can use it for good, but like let's be real, like 70% of it, and especially because he knows what he's doing. When he posts something that's gonna be dramatized, people are gonna like I said, problematic shit. People are gonna flock to that and be like, oh well, this and that. Like the Megan Thee Stallion and the Tory Lanez thing is such a big deal because it's controversial. Anything that's controversial will get when you can have two people arguing. Think about how the algorithm with comments, when people are like, oh, Tory did it. And then 8 people are like, well, no, there's all this proof that says that. And then you're commenting back and forth. Now you have 20,000 comments. That post is going to be your best post because you have 20,000 comments. It's going to get pushed farther. Like these guys know what they're doing. It's not, you know, like, and you're just kind of like a sheep in it. You're just like, oh yeah, well, you know, you just fall into the trap of like, well, Tory did it, and it's like, bro, who the fuck cares? Like, it does not bother me. In reality, yeah, I fuck with Tory. I've always fucked with Tory. He's a great fucking artist, in my opinion, top fucking 3 all time. He's really that good to me. Super inspiring, like jack of all trades, in musically, like genre wise. And I don't know, I just like his story. Like my favorite song is by him, you know. So yeah, I fuck with Tory.
Yeah, same. I like Tory Lanez too. I still listen to his music and stuff. Yeah, I'm kind of on the same boat. Like I don't really follow it or care. I just kind of seen it, and I was kind of just like, at first I was kind of just like observing it, kind of like, I wonder what's going on here. And then eventually I'm like, yo, I don't really care. I never really cared.
Yeah, like it's interesting. Like you see this shit, and you're just like, okay, it's kind of crazy, you know. Like when you first see it, you're like, whoa, that's wild, you know. But like,
here's the thing: what got me though, when I saw Megan, because when she got shot, she made the song, the one where she's dancing with her and Cardi B. And
is it the WAP one?
Yeah, I have to make me WAP. I seen the way she was dancing. This is not someone who looks like they just got shot in the foot.
Oh well, no, there was a lot of things where, and that's the, you know, there's so much things that you could push it in either argument.
Yeah,
it's like if it did happen, you know, it's fucked up. But in the reality, it's like I don't think like why the fuck would Tory just shoot this girl in the foot for no reason? Like if he did, it's weird. But either way, it's just like okay, I hope she's okay. At the end of the day, you know. And you know, it's a little fucked up. Like, do I think Tory deserves 10 years in prison? No, that's pushing it because there's some people that have done a lot more fucked up shit that like might have less time. You know, like that's a little wild. You know, 10 years is a little wild for someone that like I feel like it's deeper. You know, like I feel there's a deeper meaning to it than just like, oh yeah, he shot her. Like, nah, it's like I don't know. It feels like there's a deeper meaning.
I don't think we're ever gonna know what happened. Like it's one of those things where
no. It'll be some documentary they do in like 2032, and they'll be like, "Oh, what really happened?" And like Tory will be getting out of prison. He'll be like, "This is the real truth," and he's gonna come out like looking like Ray J or something. I don't know. He's gonna be like, "This is what really happened. This is the truth, guys," and no one's gonna care at that point. But it's like that type of stuff only comes to the public eye when people are like need attention.
Yeah.
That's when they're gonna be like, okay, well now I have to post about something. Now I have to do some publicity stunt to like keep people watching me, because you're gonna get very desperate at a point. Like those people do anything to keep the attention on them. Like it was good for Megan Thee Stallion's career. Like even if it wasn't real, like girls support girls, and like that type of if it really happened, the severity of that is like like women are gonna support her. Like LGBTQ plus community is gonna support her, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like that cool, but it helped her career either way. Even if it did happen, it's fucked up if it did, but it helped her. I'm not saying that she deserves it to help her career, but I'm just saying that, like, it's not all bad. I don't know. It's even,
Yeah, it was just like she kind of just it boosted her career and stuff, and like I don't know. We'll just never really know what happened. Like it's one of those
if we
things.
do, fuck, it'll be interesting, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And plus, like, they're not gonna say anything about it because with the whole trial, like they obviously want Tory to be in jail, so or else it would have been already publicly said. So I don't know. I don't think he deserves 10 though. That's a little wild. That's a little wild. I don't know.
We just have to see what they decide. But let's go. I want to switch gears a little bit. I want to jump into. You recently worked with an artist recently. I don't really know many artists like that. Like I kind of just like. I'm kind of weird. Like I go on my playlist, I go on like Apple Music, and I'm just like, just randomly. I don't really.
Oh, you're like a playlist guy?
Yeah.
Like you just see like the pop in like Apple playlists and whatever.
Yeah, and I kind of just.
You're talking about Absol.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. What was that like?
Oh, it was good, bro. I think a lot of people hit me expecting like some crazy answer, but it's just like, bro, he's just a person, like.
Yeah.
And it was my first big session with like an artist, like because it's like you can make stuff that's like on a bigger level, but then like being in the room with someone that's like a legend, it's like it's different. But he was super chill. He didn't know it was like no pressure, and I already knew that my skill set was like good enough to keep up. And his whole team fucked with me at the end of the night. It was a long fucking session though, and it was just me. Like it wasn't like I had someone to tap in or anything. It was like 8 hours straight, like fucking, and it was 11 p.m. to 7 in the morning.
All the way 11 p.m. This was all during all night.
It was an all night thing.
Jesus.
Man, his team was fire though. They came through. They were chilling. Yeah, half his team was asleep by the end of the night, but we made good songs, and they seemed to enjoy it. And like that's my job, is to create a space where people are having fun and enjoying themselves.
You engineered for them? Or?
Yeah, I was just I just came in and made him sound what he needs to sound like, and I obviously
like new songs coming up.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's big, bro.
Yeah, we did. I think we did 4 or 5.
Oh shit.
And yeah, like and his management even talked to me afterwards, and like they were like, it takes a certain type of like engineer to like make an artist comfortable enough to make that many songs in that amount of time. And he was like, I haven't seen him that locked in. And like I was like, it was a lot of compliments, like I'm definitely left it feeling good, like feeling way more confident in like the trajectory of my career, because I was like, okay, shit, like you're nervous. You're like, can I keep up? This guy's been in this shit. This guy's been making music for 10 years plus. And I'm like, bro, this guy's been in studios, like he's been in every fucking big studio in the world. I'm like, damn, am I gonna be able to do it? And then it started, and I was like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm good. It was a good session. He's a chill dude. It might have been worse if he was a little more like of a stickler, like but he was more like just let it go with the flow.
Go with the flow type of guy. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, 100%. Damn, yeah, that's crazy. I feel like in that situation, I would have been a little bit nervous. I would have been like, damn, like what's this guy gonna think? But from the sounds of it, sounds like it went pretty well.
Nah, but definitely before he pulled up, I was like, fuck, I'm nervous as fuck. I sat there for so long. I was like, oh, like you think of all the bad things that can happen. Yeah. You're like, oh shit, maybe this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. And then it starts and you're like, okay, well, like I've prepared for this moment. So realistically, nothing bad is going to happen.
How did you get that set up though? Like, how did you like to like get in contact with them and stuff? Like,
so they are obviously on tour, and I think they just wanted a place to record, and like just they needed a specific they needed specific gear to record. They needed a Neve 1073, a CL1B, and a U87, and it's just like a mic, preamp, compressor, and we had all of it, and no other studio here has that. And Tyler Bandit
Yeah.
kind of like threw our name in the mix, and uh, NATO, the guy that runs the studio, he was like, I'm not there because he was like out of town, and he was like, you got the opportunity, I know you got it. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna say no, like this is what I was made to do. I got it.
100%.
And yeah, it was the right people got a connection, and yeah, it like worked out perfect. And yeah, it was a great session, great people. Like seriously, would love to do it again, and I definitely think there will be an opportunity again because it was definitely everything clicked properly. So just gonna see what happens later. I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, that's great, bro. That's like big shit. Like, cause especially because he's like pretty big artist, and you're working with him, like making music and stuff. That's definitely like and it just opens the door for other like collaborations and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, it definitely like right when it got posted, everyone was like peeping it. Like definitely like
Mhm.
the floodgates opened a little bit. I was really getting a lot of people reaching out like, oh, that's crazy, good job, yada. And it's like, okay, I want more.
Mhm.
But it definitely, yeah, it felt good in the moment for sure.
100p, 100p. What we do for time so far? Time is it right? Like, where we at? I think we at 48. Okay. We'll probably start closing out in a little bit. I'll ask you a couple more questions and then
All right.
we'll close out. The next question I was gonna ask is like, what kind of music do you like listen to like regularly? Like,
Listen to, bruh, it can be like so random, Like it's so random. Like it really depends on the mood. Like right now, I've been listening to this guy named V's. He's this like he kind of makes like this Detroit, like I don't even know how to explain it, but he's got this sick like voice to him and this style to him. Like it's different for sure. It's different. Like, but the thing that caught me was like the cover art was so cool. It was like almost like it looked like crayon
mhm.
drawn, and the artist that he fucks with, like it. And it's like not usually a sound I would fuck with, but it was just there's something different that like clicked with me. I was like, yeah, this shit's cool. Like I don't know what it is, but this shit's different.
Mhm.
But usually it's like I listen to depressing, sad ass music. Not even because I'm like
Mhm.
depressed or sad or anything. I just like I like Drake, anything Drake.
Mhm.
Other than honestly, never mind, I'm not listening to that. But like views, take care.
So
Uh
you mainly a hip hop guy? You don't really you branch out to different genres, or you just mainly stick in the hip hop sphere?
I feel like I really sit comfortable with what I listen to, I guess. Like yeah, it's definitely mostly hip hop for
Okay.
sure. No, well, not mostly. It's probably just hip hop and R&B, like
Okay.
solely. Like even since junior high school, like I was a big Bryson Tiller.
Okay.
I fucked with like when Trap Soul came out. I was like, yo, this guy's him, and that's kind of what like my older homies were like, oh, if you fuck with him, like there's this Tory Lanez guy, he's nice. And it might have been like just a little bit before I Told You, like
Mhm.
when the I Told You album came out, and then I listened to the full I Told You album. I was like, this shit's
Mhm.
crazy, this guy's different
Yeah.
because yeah, there's a lot of like you listen to it and you're like, oh damn, this guy can do like any type of sound. Not a lot of people can do that. That's why Drake, like in my opinion, Drake's one of the fucking goats. Not a lot of people can do like every type of genre and do it
Yeah.
well.
He was able to recreate himself like a lot. Like that's
Yeah,
dope.
like way me. Yeah, I don't know. Probably just mostly Drake. I fuck with Lil Baby. Um, I fuck with Dirk. Yeah, I fuck with V's. He's cool. I liked Rilo Rodriguez's last
Okay,
joint.
yeah, I've heard a little bit of him. I've only heard him on features.
Yeah, he has some good. He has some slappers on there for sure. But I don't know, my rotation, like it's probably just the same fucking playlist of like Drake, Tory, Bryson, XYZ,
Mm.
old 90s shit, like nothing crazy. I like don't like to get too into the music I'm listening to because I feel like it like makes me biased when I'm like making music because I don't know, I just like listen to it low, especially because like you have to take care of your ears as an engineer. So I'm not trying to like hear something like this gonna like blow my fucking eardrums or give me like tendonitis. So I'm
Mm.
just chilling,
Yeah, you
you
gotta just
know.
try to chill out on it and stuff like that.
So mostly slow shit. anything that's slow, that's like, you know, vibey, ambient, I'm fucking with it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Another question I was gonna ask you too is, are you ever gonna hop behind the mic? You know what I'm saying? Like you like a Pierre Bourne type thing. You know, instead of
Oh, nah, but I definitely but I help a lot of people write. Like it's like shockingly, like I don't get the credit I deserve for how much I can write. Because I definitely have like this certain like just click to me. Like as soon as like I hear a flow or something, I'm like, oh, this is what you're trying to say, but you can't like it hasn't clicked in your mind yet. And I'll like I've helped people write hooks, verses, all types of shit. Like I've had people offer me like, oh yo, I'll pay you some guap, you write me my song. I'm like, okay, you know, like. But me personally, I don't fuck. I'm as an engineer, I don't even fuck with my own voice. Like I can make myself sound good, but I ain't doing that. That's not my thing, you know.
So you don't see yourself ever making a track
No,
being like
never.
seriously Taylor pull up a
Nah, never.
never?
Nah, it just not. It doesn't intrigue me. It's like it's not. It's not my thing. I just don't.
Have you ever tried it?
I've definitely like even just to get like references down and be like, okay, this is the flow. Like, and the mic will be right beside me. I'll just put some shit down, and it's like not like it's not like I hear it. I'm like, holy fuck, this is terrible. That's just not my thing. Like, I'm not like, oh, I'd love to be an artist. Like, nah. I was way more interested. Like when I first started making music, I was really interested in like the writing process. Like that was like cool to me. Of like, okay, like lyricism and how things work, like in that type of in those gears.
Interesting. So you've never never. You don't think you'll ever like hop behind a mic? Maybe just one time. You know what I mean? Like just
Nah,
featured,
nah.
not even an ad lib.
No, I've just, my voice is on songs, but not as not as like spinning or like singing or anything. I've just like said things on something, just filler, a little interlude, like just get the shit right. Nothing crazy though. But no, I definitely I wouldn't write a whole song or like get myself on a song. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just.
So now you're really an interest of yours.
Nah. Okay. Way more interested in like the back end and like doing all that. Not
background stuff.
Yeah. Never wanted to be an artist. That's not my thing.
Okay, makes sense. So, you have any upcoming projects coming up? Anything?
The worst part is I definitely do, but I definitely cannot talk about it.
Oh, where is that? It's kind of like
yeah, definitely have things that are like coming that are like, oh, okay, I don't know when they'll come, so I can't,
Yeah,
you can't throw something out and then you're like, oh, okay, well then like why did you say that then? And I'm like, I wasn't supposed to say that. Oh shit, yeah. But oh yeah, definitely some bigger stuff coming.
Okay.
But yeah, can't put any specifics to anything.
Okay.
But yeah.
But there's stuff cooking in the.
Oh, there's always, trust me, there's a lot more. Like this year, I've dropped by far the most music I've ever made. But I'm just like, there's way more to come. Like I always have music. I have a whole like list at my crib. I have a whiteboard at my crib, and it just has like lists of songs that I've worked on. That I'm like, okay, so once this comes out, I can post this. I can post this. I can post this. I can post this. I'm just chilling. I'm like, when it happens, it happens. Sometimes it might never happen. You can't like I'm not sitting here waiting on anything. Like even the Absol stuff. There's like people that have came to the city, but like and made music or whatever, and none of that stuff's came out. Like if any of the Absol stuff were to come out, I'd probably be the first person where someone came to the city, recorded, and that would actually come out. Which is just like kind of a big deal. Maybe if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But like, yeah, I don't recall anyone coming to the city and dropping music that like they recorded in the city. So that would be kind of a big deal. So yeah, I'm not like praying on it, but if it happens, it happens.
It happens.
But fuck it, it'd be cool if it does, but I can't pray on it.
Yeah. So with that being said, I guess Scott, the next question I was gonna ask, like, do you have anything like what's the plan for, but I don't know if you can reveal that, like the plan, like do you have what's the, I don't know if that's kind of like the same question, but like what's kind of
like my plan going forward?
Yeah. I don't know how much you can.
I don't really have like I feel like you can have like goals, but like you gotta live it day by day, like tomorrow everything can switch, you could crash a car tomorrow and then like all your money's gone, just I gotta spend 10 grand on a new whip, it's like, okay, so any goals that I had can now be all gone. So it's like I'm thinking, what am I doing in the next hour? You know, like
Okay.
I'm definitely like,
You're taking it day by day.
oh yeah, that's all you can do. Because if I get my hopes up, I'm like, oh, this might happen. It's like, okay, well, then if it never does, I was just praying on something that was like, I was setting myself up for failure. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just live it day by day. If it happens, it happens.
100% happens. Yeah, I feel that, man. Yeah, like definitely, like just focus, take it a day at a time.
Yeah, you can't get too into the mix of like being hopeful. Like I'm not trying to be like depressing, like oh, like you can't hope for things to happen, but like I don't know how am I supposed to tell if something's gonna happen for sure?
Yeah.
Like it's that simple. But yeah, I'm not like I'm not overly thinking into like my 5 year plan. I'm happy with where I'm happy with life, and I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. You know, like
Mm.
I'm happy with where I'm at right now, for sure.
100p, 100p. Yeah. With that being said, you want to tell people where they can find you, all that good stuff.
It's just seriously tailored on everything.
Mm.
Um, yeah, it's just literally. I'm just on. Okay. No, I definitely. Yeah, I'm mostly just posting on Instagram because I gotta like post it and I stay most active on there. So yeah, if anyone wants to hit me questions, anything. I feel like people you get to a certain like stature and people are like scared to hit you. They're like, oh, he gonna be Hollywood. It's like, nah, bro. If you just hit me, I'll just tell you how it is. You know.
Yeah.
Like if anyone ever had a question, I'm just chilling. Like,
Mm. Just hit them up. Have any questions? Don't be shy. Don't be a stranger. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I guess we'll wrap up. With that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, more podcasts coming. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
appreciate
Peace.
y'all.